All right. Well, my name's Andrew DeRojas. I'm from New Jersey. We're talking about sports. My favorite teams are the New York Yankees and the Denver Broncos. Just always grew up watching sports, playing sports, and yeah.
So how did you become a Broncos fan living in the tri-state?
Growing up, nobody in my family really watched football, so I grew up a Yankees fan, had to be a Yankees fan, and always grew up loving baseball. But then I always had that draw to football. I don't really know why, because nobody around me was watching it, but like it was I don't know, it just had that draw to it, and so I kind of had freedom. I didn't have freedom in baseball. I had to be a Yankees fan. I had freedom to kind of make my own choice when it came to football. And I just remember going to a Super Bowl party when I was young. And, when you're young, you hear party and you're like, oh, it must be a big deal. So, we went, watched the Super Bowl, and it was that one play in 1997, John Elway. It's become kind of an iconic play now, but he was run down and he made that diving first down. And, everybody in the room was in a room full of adults. I was 7 years old, and everybody in the room kind of jumped up, and I even jumped up, and I barely knew what was going on. But, you just knew that moment was special, and I was like, that's my guy. And like, they ended up winning, and then they won the next year and just stuck. You got that feel. That's why people really watch sports. It brings them back to those times where it was like, it was a special moment. That, I don't know,
So that's it.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the Broncos now?
What? Broncos now? I mean,
2 years ago, you just won the chip.
Yeah. Peyton Manning, he won his second Super Bowl. Took us to 2 Super Bowls, but yeah, I like them. Defense is looking great, still looking good. They're basically why we won, But yeah.
What do you think of your latest 2 young QBs that are there?
Yeah, the young guys. I haven't watched a lot of them. Trevor, he did all right last year. They were in the race for the playoffs all year and missed it right at the end. But it was still a fun year. I don't know. This year, I think we could do well. I don't know who's going to start. I missed the first game, the first preseason game, but I know they won.
So who would you like to see? Trevor Siemian or Paxton Lynch?
I'd like to maybe do one more year. Trevor Siemian, he did well last year. There's no reason to take the job away from him, unless Paxton Lynch comes out and is, doing light years above.
Oh, you got a visitor.
Yeah. What's up? Who do you think should start the?
Maybe he knows.
Yeah.
He knows. So tell me something. So a few years ago, when the Broncos were out here at MetLife playing the Giants, did you go and see that?
I did. Both
times.
times.
That game, like in terms of that experience.
Oh, it was great. It was really cool. The main reason I wanted to go because that was one of the Manning Bowls. The Manning brothers, 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to play and in the NFL, going against each other and their brothers. It was a really cool experience. I got to see. That's a little piece of history.
Yeah. So, what was your memorable moment coming out of that game?
Honestly, it was kind of
just being there was like awesome.
It was all just a good football game. The Broncos did blow out the Giants. Realistically, just the atmosphere of a football game is just a great. It's always a great time. Yeah, electric. Any sporting event really. It's really, because it's that connection with thousands of people. You're all there for basically the same reason, to watch. Anything could happen in a sporting event.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much said earlier you had no choice.
No choice to be a Yankee fan. Yeah, absolutely.
How? Why?
It was part of my family growing up. Like, you were a Yankee fan. That's what we were. That's like a religion. The Yankees. I watched it with watched it with my
So let's
grandfather.
call it a
And
religion.
Yeah.
And it's understandable. You live in the
Oh, yeah.
tri-state. You know, that's like one of two
sports,
teams that you're gonna
I
go
mean,
for.
sports is like a religion across the world, you know?
Absolutely.
Every country,
Absolutely.
and like the Yankees are a religion
So
for.
you didn't have a choice, but what made you love the Yankees? Because clearly you were given this is the team that you love.
They won.
Huh?
You know, I was young and they won, and it was just they were the team to beat. Fun to watch. Derek Jeter. I grew up watching Derek Jeter. You know, and those core guys, Mariano Rivera. It was just you could feel some sort of like they call it Yankee magic. You know, you felt something, and it's also part of that history of the Yankees. Like they won.
Those pinstripes.
Yeah,
Do you feel
yeah.
the same energy right now when you are watching these young guys?
Oh, the Yankees are doing well right now. They're young, and it's fun. The Yankee baseball has always been fun, even when they weren't, you know, the best teams in the league. Think about the '90s. Don Mattingly, he was one of the best first basemen ever to play the game.
Any baseball.
Yeah. Never won a World Series. That's crazy to think.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
So tell me something. You were clearly a big Yankees fan.
Oh yeah.
Right? Do you have any baseball stories for yourself when you played?
For when I played.
Yeah.
Oh man, anybody that played sports has ridiculous stories. I can't. I would think the first one that comes to mind. I went up and clocked the ball. We had a real deep left field, so there was no fence. So if you really hit a ball out there, it would just go, keep rolling. So when you would hit it out there, you knew you had to dig it out. You know, try to get as far as you can. And I'm digging it out. I was pretty quick when I played, quick on the base path. So I'm just trying to chug around and step on second base and just roll right head over heels, just somersaults down the way, like jump up, run back to second. Everybody's dying. Yeah, that was. I'm pretty sure I scored, hopefully, but didn't get out. Got back to second.
That was the most important thing. You didn't get out. It wasn't an out. You didn't sacrifice anything.
Yeah, and I went down because I was moving. So just went down, rolled, lay down on my belly, had to jump up, turn around. But
tell me something.
Yeah.
You're a big hockey fan?
Hockey, I was a little bit. I was following it. I wouldn't call myself a big fan. My biggest sports probably football, baseball. Yeah, so but I gotta support the Devils.
Why?
New Jersey, born and raised. That's it's Jersey's team. That's,
But there are a lot of people from Jersey that support the Rangers.
Yeah,
Why is that?
I don't know. It's close. It's the tri-state area, so kind of growing up there is that rivalry, but it's still, you know, you don't hate the other guys. Devils, Rangers, they get at each other, but rivalries are what makes sport fun. And as long as you're doing it right, you know, there are some people getting into fights and stuff like that, and that's, you know, it gets there. Tensions are high in competition, but it's mostly just fun. It's all in good fun. So
which is true.
And we're in such a close area that I wouldn't say I hate any teams. You know, I love the Giants. I would support them if they were winning. I can't. Maybe I should take that back. Maybe I do hate the Jets. I don't know. It's more like a fan. They're.
So I think.
No, I don't. I hate is a strong word. You can't really use it.
But I understand what you're saying. Sometimes it depends what the fans are like.
Yeah.
And you grow to kind of have a soft spot for a team.
Yeah.
Purely because of the fans.
Oh yeah.
You know, but if the fans are crass and they're not so nice, then you're obviously not going to like it.
Right.
So, you know, you mentioned rivalry is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, what's your best Red Sox-Yankees rivalry game that you've ever seen in your life? Besides the Golden Save.
I have seen a couple. I had maybe not a lot.
I'll tell you why I'm asking. Because yesterday, I'm watching Chapman basically pitch at 100 plus.
Oh yeah.
All right, and this kid, 20 years of age, if that. Okay, Rafael Devers smokes that ball.
Yeah.
It comes in at 103, it leaves at 105.
Yeah.
that was a good finish.
Yeah.
You know, that was a good finish to a
That's
game.
why you are, because anything can happen. You know, that's why sports are great.
Yeah. But you don't have any memorable moment where you would say like, wow, that was the game that I remember from Boston versus the Yankees.
It's hard because there's so many that you grew up watching. You always think about the brawl on the field where Pedro throws Zimmerman. You know, I will say it's funny because you remember the good moments, but you also remember the heartbreaking moments, like the blown the blown. They had the 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
In the ALCS. Yeah. That hurts. I like to try to erase that sometimes.
But sometimes it's good to use it as motivation.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what makes the losing is hard. When losing is the hardest, that's what makes the winning so sweet. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Isn't that what a true fan is all about?
Oh yeah. You set highs and lows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baseball is a marathon.
Before we head out, your prospects for the Yanks.
This year.
Well, in general, maybe for the next 5 years, because they've got a nice young core right now that they're trying to build around.
Yeah, and they're winning. They're winning games. You know, they're doing well. How far are they? They're not that far out of first, right?
They are the leading wild card team right now.
Leading wild card, yeah. How many games back are they in the East? Because you always
5.5 after yesterday.
And there's still some baseball. Weirder things have happened. Maybe they win the East. You always wanna. We still play Boston in the end of the season.
True. Yeah. We play them this week.
Yeah.
You know, and then next week again.
Yeah. So.
Well, anyway, DeReaux, thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.